Apparently, Bánh Ít Ram is having a moment right now. There's a video of a creator that I actually really liked, and I think it's gotten like millions of views by now. And after that, it's been popping up all over my feed. So after watching enough of these videos late at night, I finally caved and I decided that I'm gonna give it a try. Let's see if the internet's right. Let's see if this is worth it.
Bánh Ít Ram is all about contrast. A soft, chewy shrimp and pork dumpling stacked on top of a crispy fried sticky rice cake. The filling may be hidden, but it's what brings the whole thing together. So let's start with that. Dice about 1.5 pounds of pork belly into small pieces, then roughly chop about 1/2 pound of shrimp so they're nice and bite-sized. Season the pork with chicken bouillon, fish sauce, and black pepper. And for the shrimp, just a little bit of chicken bouillon and pepper because they're already salty enough on their own. Heat a pan with a little bit of neutral oil, then throw in some minced garlic and shallots and cook them until fragrant. Then add your pork and let it sear. And guys, please resist the urge to stir it every 5 seconds, okay? You want to develop a nice crust here because it's going to give it so much more flavor. Once it's about 70% cooked, toss in your shrimp. To give the filling that signature orange hue, add about 2 teaspoons of annatto oil. It's optional, but it's going to give the filling that vibrant pop of color that Hue cuisine is known for. Alternatively, you can also use a bit of paprika as well, but I wouldn't go past 1/2 teaspoon. While we're here, let's make the shrimp sprinkles. Cook about 8 to 10 shrimp in a little oil until they're opaque, then toss them into a food processor and pulse until you get a coarse crumb. Some people like to go even finer, but this texture is what I like. Return them to the pan with a little annatto oil and cook them until they're nice and dry. And there you have it, shrimp sprinkles. I totally just made that up, but it sounds pretty legit, right? Now comes the part I've been dreading, the dough.
Now, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you'll know that there's one thing your girl absolutely hates, and that's working with dough. And guess what? This recipe has 2 different dough preparations, one for the mochi and one for the fried cracker. So naturally, this is not a recipe that I'm super excited about, but I have FOMO, so I want to ride this viral wave and see what it's all about.
So I've got about 300 grams of glutinous rice flour, which by the way, isn't the same as regular rice flour, okay? It should look something like this. Add about 1/2 teaspoon of salt, then slowly come in with 2/3 cup of boiling water. Don't pour it all in at once, okay? Or you're gonna end up cooking the starch too quickly and you're gonna get a really lumpy dough. Slow and steady is the move here, supposedly. Once it starts coming together, add another 1/2 cup to 2/3 cup of warm water and knead it until you get a smooth, pliable, Play-Doh-like dough. Or at least that's what we're aiming for.
At this point, I'm starting to lose my patience because I don't know how this dough is supposed to feel. I put in the exact amount of water that the recipe asked for, but it just looks like a bunch of goo. I was so fed up with this. So I actually needed to put more flour to make it workable. Although you want to be very precise, sometimes you just have to go with your gut. Because any flour that you use, the hydration is going to be really different case by case because it depends on how fresh your flour is. And I think the more you work with doughs, you'll figure out how to not lose your mind, but I'm not there yet. So this was still a big test for me. And at this point, I'm not even close to being done yet. I have to fill the mochi, fry the cracker, make the toppings. That first bite better blow me away, okay? Because I'm starting to lose my patience.
The dough chronicles continue. We still have to make the crispy rice cake dough. So into a bowl goes 100 grams of glutinous rice flour, regular rice flour, potato starch, baking powder, salt, and a little bit of sugar. Then, just like before, slowly mix in some boiling water, followed by the same amount of warm water. And ironically, even though this one has way more ingredients, it was way easier to work with. All right, maybe I'm finally getting the hang of this. Okay, now it's time to fill our Bánh Ít, our mochi dumpling. And while I do that, let me indulge you with some fun facts about this dish. Bánh Ít Ram is one of Hue's signature snacks. Its name is actually pretty literal. Bánh Ít is the soft, chewy dumpling on top, and Ram is the crispy fried rice cake underneath. The two are served together as one bite, which is going to give you that perfect contrast of chewy and crispy. The dish was once served in Hui's imperial court, but these days you'll find it everywhere, from humble street vendors and local markets to family gatherings and high-end restaurants. It's kind of funny, but this dish has been around forever, but it took millions of views from international food creators for it to suddenly become top of mind. It got so popular that people in Vietnam started rediscovering it too. It's kind of cool to see a really traditional dish getting its moment in the spotlight. And I swear guys, I'm gonna make Khao Quet go viral, okay? If you know, you know. And for the crispy rice cake, it's pretty straightforward. You're gonna break off a golf ball sized piece of the second dough and flatten it into a disc. Then use a fork to poke holes on both sides so it doesn't puff up like a balloon when it hits the oil. Now all that's left to do is steam, fry, stack, garnish, and hope all of this effort was actually worth it. Heat some neutral oil to 340 degrees and fry the crackers for 2 to 3 minutes per side until they're beautifully golden. Then transfer them to a wire rack to cool while we steam our mochi dumplings. Now, listen carefully. Before you start, do not forget to line your steamer with parchment paper, or these are gonna stick, everything's gonna fall apart, and you're not gonna have enough curse words to fix it, okay? Once the steamer is piping hot, add the dumplings, leaving a little space between each because they do expand. Steam for 6 to 7 minutes until the dough turns slightly translucent. The filling is already cooked, so we're really just looking to cook the wrappers. When they're done, let them cool on the parchment before moving them. Just trust me, okay? Be patient. You've come too far to mess this up now. So while we wait, let's make a quick scallion oil to dress these babies up. Heat some neutral oil, and I like to throw in a lonely piece of scallion as my unofficial thermometer. Once it starts sizzling, pour the oil over a bowl of chopped scallions and a pinch of salt. And just like that, you've got scallion oil. All right, feels like it's been 6 hours here, guys. So let's put this masterpiece together. These are meant to be served as an appetizer or a finger food, so you can totally plate them individually, but I'm gonna go with this large platter here because it's really pretty and I got to do it for the gram, okay? Start by laying down the crispy rice cakes, then top each one with one of those adorably squishy dumplings. And here's the sweet and spicy nuoc mam chấm that we're gonna serve them with. They look a little naked right now, right? So let's fix that with a generous drizzle of scallion oil on each. Oh, gorgeous. That's the signature Viet look right there. Finish with the shrimp sprinkles, and yes, I'm still calling it that, and a little slice of Fresno chilies on top. These aren't really spicy, guys, so they're mostly here to look pretty. Wow, look at that. Is she taste half as good as she looks? Man, I might finally get the hype.
Here we are. It's the moment of truth. I mean, she real cute though. Okay, I have to admit, after spending all of that time making these, I was really hoping they live up to the hype, and they do. The crispy rice cracker paired with that sticky, icky mochi ball, it's just like unlike anything I've ever had. That said, would I make these from scratch again? Probably not, to be honest. It's a lot of work. Find a local Vietnamese restaurant that sells these and grab them. Save yourself all the stress. It is worth trying though. So with that, see you guys next time. Bye.